What is up? I almost said Monday. Happy Tuesday.
Nope. There you go.
You hate to see it. The other day I was talking to my friend on the phone, Jared, and I was like, happy Thursday. And he's like, it's definitely Monday today. I'm like, well, it's been an extremely long week, okay? Lauren Jabbar
Yeah.
and Jared Smith. Jared, how are you?
I'm good. Had a really good night last night in the betting world. Of course, didn't give out any real picks on social or on the show because I had the day off. But I hit a same game parlay last night, the NBA, thanks to some recommendations from people I trust. And you, hold on a minute. Before we start the show, we need to
Should I pull out my crown?
Announce the queen has arrived. Hear ye, hear ye. The puck queen has returned. What would you prefer, puck queen or ice queen? What do you like better?
Ice queen, because ice queen sounds like juicier. Puck queen reminds me, I don't know, it just doesn't sound as like cool, right?
I think you got it right. What the puck and ice queen. Also, ice queen kind of sounds like ice cream. It sounds like ice cream, which everyone loves ice cream, right? So
it's my favorite. It's definitely my favorite dessert snack is ice cream, 100%. Cookies and cream, moose tracks. If I'm feeling a little spicy,
tracks.
You know what I mean?
The Avs were making moose tracks all over the Blues last night. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. It was fun. Yeah, we hit all three of our hockey bets. We had Tampa Bay Lightning on the three-way money line. We had the Avs three-way money line, and we had the over in the Avs St. Louis game. All three cashed. I got a lot more hockey bets for you today, and I'm really looking forward to it. So it's going to be awesome. Also, fun fact for you, Alex Glaze texted me this morning and said, complete 180 on Kadri. He's my guy now. Made the Blues, especially that bum Husso who belongs in the ECHL, look silly. So many stupid runs at Kadri, and all he did was keep his head down and light the lamp. What a baller. Hope he has another Hattie on Wednesday. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page since my screenshots are exposed.
Yeah. We had some fun the other day because you sent a text message to us during the show while Mark, Alex, and I were on the air. I don't think you knew that we were all doing the show together at that time, but
you had no clue, actually.
Yeah, right. But the screenshot was of you and Alex's conversation about the post-Blues Avs game from the other night, and we actually revealed that on the show. So now we should have a new segment like LBI exposed, like reality TV, like screenshots of all the chirping that goes on behind the scenes.
Let's do it. I'm in. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
When you send us a message, you might be ending up on the show.
Yeah. I mean, just saying. Just saying. We got a lot to get to today, so let's get right into it. We got two guests coming on the show. Before that, we have our Better Up segment, talking a little NRFIs and YRFIs. Then we have NBA Morning Radar with Bobby Stanley, NBA betting analyst Rob Holiday. We have our Charles Schwab. We're talking about the little PGA Tour with Diane Knox Balas. Then we have our NHL Ice Picks, and I'll make sure to pull up the crown for that one. We can't end with our Pickswise 3-star play of the day and our best bets of the day. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's bet it. Better Up, starting out with our YRFIs and NRFIs. Yesterday, the NRFIs, no runs first inning, went 7-5. Now the NRFIs are 316 and 310 on the season. The MLB scoring average is 28.12%. Now you look at some trends for teams around the league. Right now, Baltimore has hit 6 of its last 7 YRFIs. They've conceded in all 6. They haven't scored. So something to keep in mind. No other team has a current streak higher than 3 in either direction. So Baltimore is a team to look out for. On that note, do you have any YRFIs or NRFIs, Jared, heading into today's slate?
I do, and I'm glad that we're using this as a segment to not only frame individual teams, but also the overall scoring average, because 28% is down just a little bit off of what it's been over the last 4 years combined, which is about 29%. So we are hearing from my source in the locker rooms that covers baseball, and we're hearing from a lot of other sources that are very reputable that scoring is down across the league, probably because of the baseball. There's no official way to confirm that, but that's what we're hearing. The baseball has been inconsistent this year, and scoring's been down. So that being said, let's bet on a yes run first inning. Mets, Giants.
Naturally. Or the contrarian play, Jared, as you like to say.
Why the F not? No, but we've done the legwork, and it's pretty obvious that the yes of the two bets, I think, is the better bet, unless you have a really good angle on the. I think we have a good angle on the yes tonight. So Mets Giants. I apologize, but you're gonna have to stay up late for this one. It's the San Francisco treat, late night. Chris Bassett, Logan Webb, and when you look at Bassett, his numbers have been pretty good this year. NRFI 7-1, not bad, but very high walk rate in the first inning, almost 13%. And his FIP first inning at 3.36 is pretty good, but his expected FIP is 5.26. So Chris has gotten a little lucky. He's dodged some bullets, despite the fact that he's gone 7 of 8, no run first inning. Logan Webb, on the other hand, has been a gas can in the first inning. 5 starts to the yes, 3 starts to the no. That is bad. When you're under 500 with your NRFI percentage starting pitcher, that's no bueno. 301 batting average against and a 321 BABIP, batting average of balls in play, in the first inning. When he gets hit hard in that opening frame. Now, the Mets, they've been a high-scoring team in the first inning this year. 3rd best scoring rate in baseball in the first inning at almost 39%. The Giants, the 3rd lowest at 17%. And that's why we're getting a favorable number here at plus 130, which is a juicy number for a YRFI. I did check. Can you give me a Doppler radar? Boop. I checked the Doppler radar.
You need to give me a significant time to check the Doppler radar. It's a full-on deep dive into the Doppler, Jared.
But can you give me the sound effect?
I can give it to you right away. But what is the Doppler? You tell me.
Boop. The Doppler radar is spinning around. It says winds blowing out to center tonight at 15 miles an hour. At San Francisco, the wind is a factor. I would not want to bet on a yes if the winds are blowing in. I'm not going to say that they're going to hit a home run out to center field. That's not easy to do. But I'm trying to tell you that it'll be easier to hit a home run tonight with the winds blowing out to center. And here's the last note I have on this game. It has nothing to do with the yes run first inning. And maybe you can tell me if this stat is meaningless or not for this game, because I think it's interesting. So Logan Webb, we told you he's terrible in the first inning this year, but the Giants are 17-0 in their last 17 home regular season starts with Logan Webb on the mound. So you want to bet the Giants to win the game. That's your trend. Joe Osborne does a great job. He's an analyst that I follow. Tweeted that out this morning. I thought it was noteworthy. 17-0 in their last 17 home regular season starts with Logan Webb. What do you think of that nugget? Chew on that.
I mean, last time I checked, that's pretty good numbers. Last time I checked. I like the Doppler radar, Jared. I like that you brought that into your cap, too. Well, big fan of that.
We're going to start using it now because I gave you crap earlier.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay. No worries.
So I'm going to start eating
I'm on 2 strikeout props today in the same exact game. So I'll get right into it. Why not? Noah Syndergaard and Dane Dunning, both over 4.5 Ks, and both of them are priced on FanDuel right now at minus 106. So you're only laying 6 cents. Neither are too juicy. So Noah Syndergaard, let's break it down first. The Rangers, they've struggled this season to make contact against righties, except for last time Noah Syndergaard played them, they blew him up. So, this is a time for him to come back, bounce back. The Rangers do have a K rate, though, of 26% over the last 2.5-ish weeks, which is the 4th worst in baseball over that time. Noah's hit the total or gone over the total in 2 of his last 3 starts. He got popped by the Rangers last week, so he's going to come back with a little bit of vengeance, want to right the ship against Dallas. I like Noah Syndergaard over 4.5 strikeouts. And on the other side, Dane Dunning is on the bump for the Rangers. And it's basically like earlier, I think it was yesterday I was looking at it and I didn't necessarily bet it yet. I bet it this morning and it was at minus, but it was at even money yesterday at plus 100. I laid a little juice for it, not too much, 6 cents, whatever. But he's gone over this total in 5 straight games in 6 of his last 7 starts, including another start against the Angels, which I think was last week-ish. So you look at the Angels, their strikeout rate right now is at 23.3% against righties over the last 2 weeks. That's about 10th worst in the league right now. The Angels, though, do have a WRC plus of 130 over the last 2 weeks, which makes me a little bit nervous. But I still think he should be able to get it done, get at least 5 punch-outs, hit the prop, and I don't even care if they win or lose, but just hit my 2 prop bets and we'll be good to go. Noah Syndergaard over 4.5 strikeouts. Dane Dunning over 4.5 strikeouts. You have a couple strikeout props today too, yeah?
Yeah, I really like the Dunning one too. I might tail you on that one. I'm looking at his numbers now. I pulled them up when you were talking. He's had a really good little streak here. 5-7, 5-6-6. You know, he had 6 against the Angels in his last start, so I don't see why 5.
He's gone over in 5 straight in 6 of his last 7 starts. It's good.
Yeah, I don't see why 5 is a reach tonight. And I actually do see, if you have access to the Superbook Westgate in New Jersey, any of our New Jersey or Colorado friends do. I know you have a lot of Colorado listeners. It's plus money, plus 104 over at the Westgate. So
love that for you.
I'm locking that in right now. That is a bet for me over at Westgate, plus 104 on Dunning. Love that. Noah, I don't know about Noah. Noah, what do you think about Noah's injury?
Noah Syndergaard, let's go. Let's go.
I don't know about how I feel about Noah. Although, in terms of the price, he's expected to go over 4.5. We're Dunning plus money.
Totally.
All right, I'll stop stalling. I do have – actually, I'm doing my daily double again tonight. We're going to do a daily double. And we're going to take Zach Gallen. Usually we do outs and strikeouts. We're going to kind of split the baby here. We're going to go over strikeouts, under earned runs. Now, the over strikeouts prop is juiced to minus 135. I got this at FanDuel. The under 1.5 earned runs is plus 130 over at the Westgate. Actually, I think it's plus 132. Excuse me. I get 2 extra cents. Plus 132. So this is a bad Royals lineup that scored 5 runs in the first 2 innings off Zach Greinke last night, former Royal Zach Greinke, or excuse me, former Diamondback Zach. And then they didn't score for the last 7 innings of the game. That's interesting. So Greinke, to me, is a fade. Gallen is a play-on guy. We've talked a lot about Zach Gallen so far this season. He's gone over 5.5 strikeouts in 5 of 7 starts, and he's gone under 1.5 earned runs in 6 of 7 starts. The only time he's given up more than 1 earned run in a start, he gave up 2 at Miami a few weeks ago. Kansas City, to me, they're not a high strikeout team overall, 10th lowest against righties this year, but over the last week, a little tick up in strikeouts at over 25%. So again, Kansas City, the whole picture, maybe not that high of a strikeout team, but lately they've been striking out a lot lately. And I did even a little, more digging. In their last 9 starts against righties, 6 of them have gone over 5.5. So we're starting to get more strikeouts this Royal team lately against righties. And I love Gallen, 97th percentile of expected ERA and expected batting average this season. He has electric stuff. So we're going to do the daily double, over 5.5 strikeouts, under 1.5 earned runs. And oh, wait, there's more. We're going to also ladder. Oh, wait. Can you give me can you do a ladder? Did you ever do ladders when you were working out during your athlete days? To climb the ladder?
Back in the day, back in my college athletic days. Not anymore.
Yeah. No.
I'm lazy.
So we're climbing the Zach Gallen ladder tonight. We're gonna go. So we already.
See, you are all in on Zach Gallen right now.
Take all your money. This is the guy. This is the guy. This is the Cy Young winner this year. Maybe we'll get to that in a second. 7 strikeouts or more is plus 154. Half a unit on that. 8 strikeouts or more is plus 310. Quarter unit sprinkle on that. And yes, I locked in a bet this morning. 1 shiny unit over at Bet365. For Zach Gallen to win the NL Cy Young at 22-1. Tell me why I'm wrong, LJ. Tell me why I'm wrong.
I'm not going to because I feel like that is actually a really good bet. I feel like that's actually a really good bet. To be honest with you, I haven't watched enough of him play to feel confident at this point in it. I just haven't watched enough baseball at this point. It's hard to keep track of every single pitcher on every single team, but I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on him moving forward, seeing what he's.
Here's how I see it.
Yeah, let's
Walker Buehler is having a down year. His numbers have not been good.
Yeah.
Then you've got the reigning Cy Young winner, Corbin Burns, who is going to be a factor the entire season. I think Gallen, who has seen his odds go from 45-1, then 40-1 after his last start, now 20-1 most shops, 22 if you do your shopping. I think that number will be closer to 8 or 9-1 after another good start or two. Because I just don't think there's a lot of competition in the National League this year. When I was looking at the rest of the contenders. It's basically Burns, Bueller, Joe Musgrove, Pablo Lopez, Carlos Rodon. I mean, if Gallen has one of those incredible seasons, he's underrated, I think, because of the team he plays on. That's my thought. We'll see if it pans out, but I did bet Zach Gallen in many different ways today. So good luck.
He loves the Zach Gallen train. Hop on, baby.
Gallen the strikeout.
Jared on it. Speaking of, well, I was going to try to come up with a cool transition, and there's no way to do this. Speaking of, let's hop on the train and take it on down to the NBA court because we got an exciting game going on tonight. The game last night was like, come on now. That was just boring. Like, at one point at the beginning of the game, it was 27-1. I'm like, what are we watching at this point? But on that note, let's bring in our new friend, Bobby Stanley. On Twitter, you can find him as Prop Holiday. Celebrate a little Christmas during this time of the year. Prop expert, NBA analyst. Let's bring him on. Bobby Stanley. Do you want me to call you Bobby Stanley or do you want me to call you Prop Holiday? What do you prefer, my friend?
Just call me Bobby. Appreciate it, guys. Really excited to be on the show.
Yeah, really excited to have you. First of all, your first appearance on the show. Tell us about yourself, how you got started in the industry as a prop expert, and what you love so much about the NBA.
Sure. I mean, I've been sports betting for a long time, kind of grew into it with my family. We did, pick'ems as a kid. All our family outings were out at the track. So kind of come from a sports betting, gambling family. 2 years ago when COVID happened, I kind of started the account, but grew up in the fantasy football generation, loved DFS, loved fantasy football. And then when sports betting became legalized in New Jersey, we saw the prop market really take off. And that's kind of been my specialty. I've had some success in NFL, had some success in NBA, two sports I love and try to play still. No, it's a good time. You can find a lot more angles, I feel like, in the prop market. The downside always being, could you get an injury? Is there foul trouble? But you can really kind of angle a play if you do your research right.
Yeah, the prop market is its own little ecosystem now. It's almost like a subsection of the gambling world. You have the traditional bettors, that sides, totals, etc. And then you have all these derivative markets, and there's been this whole explosion of it. How would you explain your style? Are you an over prop better? Are you an under prop better? Are you matchup, situational, algorithmic? Like, what's your, explain, because if, we're going to have it on the show and you're going to be, our audience wants to know, what's your style?
I mean, it's always more fun to bet overs, but I do throw it under in there every once in a
while. Always more fun.
Always more fun to bet the over.
When it comes more stylistically, I mean, you got to have a mix of the two. Obviously, you look at the data, you look at past performances, you look at home road splits, things like that. But especially in the playoffs, you really have to look at matchups. Things change, game plans, rotation strategies change game to game. And if you can project or predict what you think is going to change from matchup to matchup, you can really combine that with the data and set yourself up for success. So there's no straight answer. I try to throw a lot of data behind what I say to support it. But I watch a lot of basketball. I still try to play when I'm healthy. And it helps. It helps having to marry the two.
How's your basketball game looking?
I'm currently recovering from an Achilles injury. So right now it is not looking good. I tore my Achilles 6 weeks ago in a men's league.
That is literally the worst injury ever.
It's
Lauren
not fun.
is actually upset visually. She's really upset.
I'm really upset for you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That sucks.
The only one more upset than you is my pregnant wife. She should be on her back, and instead she's taking care of me. So this is a fun break for me from reality. Thank you guys for having me.
That's true. Well, I hope that you heal.
Glad Lauren's less upset than your pregnant wife. Thank God for that. That would have been a problem.
That's a crazy injury. Those are the absolute worst. Well, sorry if I brought it up a little too soon.
No,
we'll get back to what makes you happy.
He's going to be sleeping on the couch tonight now, Lauren. Sheesh.
I know. Damn, Daniel. You hate to see it. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to something that makes you happy. You talked about the matchups and how things change from game to game. We've seen the Celtics in the Heat series be kind of up and down. Like, there hasn't been a lot of close games. We saw the Celtics tie up the series last night, and that game wasn't even close for a second. There was no Tyler Hero for the Heat, no Marcus Smart for the Celtics. But, you know, when you look at a game 5, this series, for me at least, has been really difficult to read in terms of, you know, the adjustments that Eric Spoelstra is going to make. What Heat team are we going to get? What Celtics team are we going to get? When you look at game 5, what did you see from the first 4 games so far, and how do you kind of approach game 5 tomorrow?
I mean, I think you made a good point. It's really hard to kind of tell what you're getting from game to game. A lot of it is injury related. You know, we're not finding out till 2, 3, 4, 5 hours from tip exactly what version of these teams we're going to get. When I look at last night's game, you get 18 points from your starters. You get 15 or 16, I think, from Bam and Jimmy combined. And it's indicative of what real basketball fans have been saying all season about this Heat team. You know, they're the 1 seed. Why aren't they getting respect? Performances like last night are why we really weren't sold on the Heat as a 1 seed in the East. I mean, when you look at the Celtics, when they're fully healthy with a Marcus Smart, with a Time Lord Rob Williams, I mean, I think they should be the favorite in the East. What's sad, I would say, is kind of the frequency of the games we're seeing. They're kind of every other night. And if we can get a night off and get off, you know, I think it would improve the quality of play, because these blowouts are not as enjoyable to watch.
They're not fun. They're not fun.
They're not as fun. I mean, from a betting angle, I had some success last night. I was on Oladipo PRA. I was on Tatum points. But there's so many different ways.
Oladipo went off.
He did. And when you look at him, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jared.
Is Jared talking right now?
I got him on mute. I don't know if it's just me.
Jared, I can't hear you.
I apologize. I had my mute button on because the dog was barking. Apologies for that, everyone. I had a nice one with Oladipo last night. I'm just ruining the show. Just you talk. You talk. I'm just ruining the show with my technical stuff here.
Did you go points on Oladipo, or I went PRA, which felt like the same.
Points on Oladipo 10.5, and then points on Tatum at 27.5, and then parlayed it with the Celtics per quarter. I had a nice. It was one of the better same game parlays I've hit all postseason. Oladipo just spoke to me last night. He just spoke to me.
Well, they had to replace some solid Tyler Hero minutes. Yeah. If you look at them offensively, they needed a third scoring option. Strus can't create his own shot. Oladipo, luckily last night, can. I think if we did get a standard game out of Jimmy and Bam, this could have been a competitive game. The starters didn't show up. Oladipo did. So, it was a rough one to watch. I do think this has the potential to go 7, but I still lean Celtics. And then we have that beast coming out of the West, who I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about that game right now if you want to, because that series could be over tonight. I mean, Luka is Luka, but he doesn't really have anybody else supporting him at this point. So do you think the Warriors finish things out tonight? And prop angle wise, what are you kind of leaning towards? And I have a couple I want to ask you about in a second too.
Sure. No, I do think the Warriors sweep. And they're just a better team. We're seeing that.
Yeah.
But more importantly, they're watching what's going on in the East. These two teams are beating the hell out of each other. If they can get out of this series early, I think it bodes well for them long-term, get some more rest, and really prepare themselves for the finals. And it ties into a prop I like tonight. It's Draymond Green over 7.5 rebounds. I got it at even money. It's on FanDuel and DraftKings. He's averaging 8.7 rebounds per game in series closing games this postseason. So he's stepping up when it matters most. Yes, he's only hit it in 1 game in this series, but he had foul trouble in game 2. His minutes went down below 30. Game 3, I don't care what the final score says. That was a blowout for all intents and purposes. He had 3 rebounds at half. The second half, you kind of scale back when you're up that much. So I love it at plus money. And Otto Porter's doubtful. So I think we really see Draymond Green hit that 30-minute mark. When he does, he's hit it in 4 of 7 games this season. So I think the rest is huge. I think they want to get out of there and really watch this Eastern Conference Finals. They play chess, not checkers, over there in Oakland now. So that's my first prop. It's Draymond Green over 7.5, and I think the Warriors get out of there with a sweep.
I like that. How do you feel about his assist prop, rebounds and assists? Do you think that's interesting at all? Anything on his assist tonight?
I haven't taken a look at it, I think it's probably 15.5,
Okay.
16.5. He's going to be heavily involved in the game. These are the games that, I mean, barring foul trouble, that's like anything in any player prop.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually 13.5 on Bet365. His rebounds plus assists prop.
I'd be pretty low for that. I think. I'm telling you, that auto reporter, I think there's going to be some minutes. We get him over that 30-minute mark, and we're going to see Draymond really fill up the stat sheet.
The one thing I like about
I'm looking at. Oh yeah.
Sorry. Go. No, I was just going to say he had 15 rebounds in the closeout game against Memphis. That's all I was going to add to it. That's it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, I have 2 props that I haven't bet yet, but I'm looking at, and I want to get your opinion on them. One of them, Andrew Wiggins, over 16.5 points. He's been great against Dallas so far. I was looking at 27 points, 11 rebounds in Game 3. He went off. Like, I just feel like we haven't been showing him enough love. At this point, he's averaging about 21 points per game. He's shooting like 41 or 47% from the field. How do we feel about the over 16.5 in terms of Andrew Wiggins points?
I would just say I'm scared because he's getting it done on both sides of the floor. You know, obviously no one's shutting down Luka, but he's doing a far better job that we saw than Mikal Bridges. Just physicality, being able to withstand when Luka gets in the paint and starts throwing that shoulder in there. But offensively, night to night, I don't know what to expect from Andrew Wiggins. Could he go off for 20 again? Yeah. Would I put my money there? Probably not. I think his focus is really, and he's picking up Luka at full court. So what he's doing is nothing short of impressive. Would I put my money there? Not necessarily.
Maybe not. Yeah. The other one I was looking at is Steph Curry over 3.5 made threes. And you look at the beginning of the postseason and he kind of like wasn't finding his stride. He has right now. I think he's gone 14 of 29 in the last few games. That's about 48%. And he has at least 9 3 attempts every single game against the Mavs so far. And he hit the over in 3 of his last 4 games. Love that kind of volume from him. Do you think we could see it again in Game 4?
Yes, 100%. I think him, Draymond, Clay, they want to get out of this series. And Steph, quiet in the beginning. You know, the first round was the Jordan Poole round. We saw Clay step up a little bit in this series. Steph knows what he needs to do. This team, Steve Kerr, everyone knows what they need to do to get out of this series. So I expect Steph to keep launching. So if he hits that 9 mark, him being at that 45-50% bodes well for this line. I'm curious, did you see what odds you had on the 3.5? Is it plus money? It's probably like minus 120 or something, I'd guess.
Yeah, I think it is like minus 120-ish. Let him fly, though, baby. Let him fly.
Yeah, the threes with Curry is always interesting. If he's hot, he can hit 4 of them in like 10 minutes. It's actually very juicy. It's minus 164 at FanDuel. That's why.
Oh, that juicy?
3.5 is a pretty juicy nugget.
64 cents for it.
Especially if it gets out of hand. Especially if the game does get out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go 5 threes at plus 150, that would be the way to get it to plus money. So the point, so Wiggins, so did you know the highest plus minus in the entire postseason does not belong to Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic. It's Andrew Wiggins at plus 122.
Wow.
He has the plus minus rating of any player in the NBA playoffs. I would absolutely put my money on him in some capacity tonight. I don't know what. I think you make a good point about strictly points. Maybe I would protect myself a little bit, go PRA, because he is becoming such a big part of both ends, offense and defense, that you get the rebounds and the assists as well in there to maybe protect yourself. But Lauren's spot on. I absolutely will be looking to target Wiggins in some capacity because this dude is playing at an incredible level. Jalen Brunson's also on your card tonight as well. And this is a guy that I bet on a lot earlier in the playoffs. I haven't looked at him as much lately, but I do think Dallas is role players. Has Bullock made a shot yet? Like, has Kleber made a shot yet? Like, they have to play better tonight, and you would expect the best effort from the Mavericks role players in what is in a do-or-die game. It's not basically. It is a do-or-die game.
Yeah, no, you made a good point. Bullock and Kleber went 0 for 10 last game. And you're saying, okay, Bob, why would you be on a prop like Jalen Brunson over 3.5 assists? So Brunson over 3.5 assists is plus 118 on FanDuel. He's hit this in 2 or 3 games this series. And as you pointed out, Jared, it's a do or die game. I do think we get a little bit better performances from the role player, so that helps in the assist column.
Yeah.
He's hit it in 8 of 16 postseason games, so 50% plus we're getting some plus money. But he's averaging 8 potential assists for this entire series. So in a game they must win, I do expect someone other than Luka to step up for a line that he's hit 66% of the time, and I'm getting plus odds. So Brunson over 3.5 assists. We'll see. I think you said must-win game. Someone has to show up. If you're Dallas, your best shot was game 2. You get 40 out of Luka, you get 30 out of Brunson. They're up 14 at half. They shoot 45% from 3, and you lose that game. If you can't win that game, you have to feel that serious. Like that's your best punch. That's your knockout punch. And Golden State eats it. So if you have to feel pretty dejected if you can't come out of one of those first 3 games. So yes, it's must win, but give me Golden State tonight. They're just a better team.
All right, ready?
2 things on that.
Here we go.
They swung and they missed.
Parlay. Same game parlay. Brunson over 3.5 assists. Draymond over 7.5 rebounds. Andrew Wiggins over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists is plus 575 over at DraftKings. Just throwing it out there in case you want to get frisky tonight.
Why not?
Why not? I like a nice.
We don't hate it. Yeah, the
6-1.
Mavs swung and missed in that one. And also you used the word dejected. That was a very, very big word. And I'm very impressed by you because of that. So that was great. I always love a good dictionary word. Jared said he's going to try to bring one of those on every single show. But it's okay. Bobby has you covered today, Jared. Don't worry about it. Bobby,
hold on. Let me see if I can come up with a better one.
Coming on, giving us your vast amount of knowledge. I'm sure we'll be having you on in the future throughout the playoffs. You can find him on Twitter as Prop Holiday. Having a little celebration for this holiday season that we call the NBA playoffs. Thanks, Bobby. Have a good day. The court. We're taking it from the court to the course. Let's bring on our girl, Diane Knox Balas, to talk a little bit about the Charles Schwab. Diane, how are you today?
Hello, Gary. How are you doing?
Good. Okay, so let's recap just to get started. Recap the PGA Championship because JT played incredibly on Sunday. Other leaders faltered. It was just a crazy ending to the weekend. Just what did you make of the whole PGA Championship?
It was so full of emotion, highs and lows, and Justin Thomas was 7 shots back starting Sunday. So we always talk about the fact that when it comes to majors, you expect to see a certain caliber of guys at the top of the leaderboard and one of them eventually winning. And of course, that happened last weekend with JT winning his 2nd major, his 2nd PGA championship. But I talk about the emotion because we had so many guys really at the top of that leaderboard in contention, fighting for their first win. Not even their first major win, but their first victory on the PGA Tour. Mito Pereira, Will Zalatoris, Cameron Young. Jared and I were both sick to the stomach.
Oh, Cameron Young.
Late double.
I feel so bad.
We had it, and they dropped the 5 too. All he had to do was bogey and not double bogey. And Cameron Young's in the playoff.
But the thing, the real story of sadness was Mito Pereira. And we can't dwell on the sadness.
I feel so bad for him.
My heart breaks for him, Diane.
Nobody wanted to see his day end that way. I mean, you were rooting for him. Even if you weren't rooting for him, nobody wanted to see his day end like that. With a double bogey on 18, if he had bogeyed, then, slightly better position. We just wanted to see him in the playoff. We could have had a 3-man playoff, but it just seemed like such a traumatic end to the day for him when he really held on and played well. But it's so encouraging to see the breadth of talent that we have of guys that are rookies that are really moving on to the PGA Tour. And, Cameron Young, we talked about. Will Zalatoris, he has had 2 runner-up finishes in majors in the last 13 months. It's unbelievable. And people talk about his putting being the part of his game that lets him down. Man, he's so good. Look what he's doing, even when he's, not firing on all cylinders on the greens.
Yeah.
So it's just incredible. And, you're happy for Justin Thomas because he really talked about the fact he wanted to get that 2nd major win, how hard it had been and how difficult it is to go out and win any week, let alone a major week. So you're happy for him, but man, it was a roller coaster of emotions all day Sunday.
I think that's the hardest part about betting golf, Diane, is that there's 100 and some odd golfers in the field every week. You can make a case for a lot of them. And then once it gets to those pivotal moments, each golfer has their own set of circumstances that makes that particular event unique. For Will, it's going to be his putting. That's going to be the story of his entire career. For Mito, we hope it's not going to be the Jean Van de Velde moment where this follows him for his entire career. And for Justin Thomas, it's just the overall just grit and determination. It's been a tough couple years for him. He had some off the course issues last year and just kind of recovering from that and, you know, playing well in this major. And he was, considering he had the wrong end of the draw. We talked about it on Saturday. Justin Thomas's win in this event, I think, is even more impressive because of the conditions he had to face on Thursday and Friday. Do you think we'll see a hangover with him? Very quick turnaround, you know, until we get our next major. What do you think?
I don't think for the next major, we've got 4 weeks until the US Open. He's playing this week in the Charles Schwab and potentially a little bit of a hangover this week. You know, he's round about 8-1. He's definitely the favorite this week. But, you know, maybe a little bit. It's hard coming off a major because he's going to feel a release, I think, because as we say, he had so much pressure to put on himself. And when he teamed up with Bones Mackay, who used to be Phil Mickelson's caddy and then retired from caddying, went into TV and had a really successful on-course commentary career, then he said that the only guy that he would have gone back to work for was Justin Thomas. And we saw a real turnaround in Thomas's game when they started working together. We kind of knew that something big was on the cards for the two of them as a pairing. So I don't think there'll be a hangover when it comes to the US Open. Potentially this week. I wouldn't touch JT this week. But we have a really stacked field. A lot of big names are playing. Like Jordan's going to be on a lot of people's minds. Colin Morikawa playing this week. Yeah, there's a lot of big names, a lot of star power teeing it up.
Yeah, going through your card, I'm looking Will Zalatoris. I want him to win so badly. Like, I want him to win so badly. You have him on your card. Just kind of run through who you have at this point and why you like those guys.
So I'm going with Will this week. And there's that issue of fatigue. Obviously made it to the playoff and they had an extra 3 holes to play. But I am constantly impressed by his game and maybe more importantly his attitude, because he's got this cheeky little smile that you'll see him do when he's maybe like he'll make a putt, he's trying to hold in the emotion and he's like but he made such a clutch par putt on 18 on Sunday and that got him into the playoff with JT. His game is amazing and there's been so much talk about his putting, and on Sunday we did see him miss a couple of shorter putts, maybe Saturday and Sunday, and he missed them all to the right. But then when it mattered and he had to make that clutch par putt on 18, he did it. His game is so good, and that's what's getting him in these positions. He's such an all-rounder, an extreme talent. We've talked about the fact that in majors, his record already is outstanding. But, 2 runner-up finishes in 13 months, just in majors, tells you something. His iron game is so precise. He leads the tour on approach this season, something that is going to be really important around Colonial. And he's back in Dallas, back in his hometown. So that'll help him relax and get back to normal a little bit. He's going to be a fan favorite again. At 22-1, I'm kind of shocked that he was that high. I thought he would be a little bit lower than that. So, I'm like you. I want to see him win so badly.
Oh my gosh, I'm sneezing in the middle of my show.
Oh my goodness gracious. She is so excited about Will Zalatoris.
I was like, oh my God, I feel coming on. This is going to be brutal.
So the funny thing about Will is, what is he, like 23? He's not fatigued. He's fine. He'll be fine. Yeah. He's a young pup. So. Yeah, he's a young pup.
Said afterwards, after losing in the playoff, he was so positive afterwards and just said, well, I'm there. Like, I've got the game. I've put myself in this position. Yeah. So I'm losing a playoff at the Farmers Insurance at Torrey Pines at the start of the year. He's constantly putting himself in that position, which shows that over 4 days, he's got it. He can contend. He's going to contend so much. And it's not a matter of if, it's when Will's going to win. And it could be this week.
I think he's a guy that I'm going to put on my Masters and, major card. every time until he wins. Like, he's one of those guys that I want to be holding a ticket in my hand when he does win a major. Not a major this week, but the course does play similar to Southern Hills. At least there are some similarities. And one of the guys on your card was very good last week, came from out of nowhere, and I think he was in the top 10, Tom Hoagie. I don't know if he finished top 10, but definitely in the top half of the field. And he's a guy at a long price again this week that's found his way onto your card.
Yeah, I've got him at 70-1, and he just finished, as you say, top 10, tie for 9th at the PGA.
Oh, yeah.
He has 4 top 10 finishes this season, including a win at Pebble Beach, runner-up at the Amex. Really looking at the thing about Colonial is it's a real positional course, a lot of dog legs. You want someone who's a good ball striker, can really work the ball, and the approach shot is going to be key. Smaller greens this week at Colonial. He's 6th in strokes gained at approach. He's 19th tee to green and top 10 in scrambling on the tour. When he won at Pebble Beach at the AT&T, he had Spieth and Patrick Cantlay on his heels. So that didn't bother him. We know Spieth's going to be a real fan favourite. And Jordan's record here is incredible. 3 runner-up finishes and, a good couple of top 10s around Colonial. So he's the Dallas boy. But I think that, again, it's attitude. I think Tom Hoagie displays a great attitude this week. He's in contention a lot. He really, as you say, made a charge up that leaderboard to get a top 10 at the PGA. And I read an interview with him afterwards, and he said that he still wasn't happy, that he had a penalty stroke on Sunday, and
that's right.
Wasn't happy with a couple of his drives. Yeah, so that his first top 10 in a major, and he was still disappointed with that because he thought he could have done a lot better. And I think that's just testament to the kind of guy he is and the drive that he shows week after week.
You mentioned Spieth. You have him on your card to finish top 5, and you also have Davis Riley to finish top 5. What stands out about
Davis?
I was like, Janet's gonna love the Davis Riley pick again. Phenomenal. He's had 5 top 10s this season on the tour, including a playoff loss at the Valspar to Sam Burns and a T9 at the Byron Nelson in Dallas a few weeks ago. He's a Dallas resident. He's Will Zalatoris' best friend. We've talked about the fact that they used to live together in Dallas. And, again, he's just such a fantastic talent. These rookies that are just really making their mark on the tour, and of course he has with 5 top 10s, but really good putting stats, 12th on tour in putting. And I like Davis Riley this week. I think this course could be a really good fit for him. And the thing about Colonial is it's not really one for the long hitters, and a lot of guys will scale back, huge amount of dog legs. And you alluded to the fact it's very similar to Southern Hills. Perry Maxwell, same designer at both, but Colonial's just going to be a scaled back version, more positional, smart play. And Davis Riley top 5 at 9-1, and you, Jared, was going to be all over that.
I love it. And we'll get to it in a minute. I have him on my matchup sheet that I want you to talk about, but first we can't let you go without you giving us your dark horse pick of the week. And it's kind of funny because when you do your write-ups, you like to include things about what goes on here. The course matters a lot, obviously, your stats, your analytics, all that good stuff. But this is what interests me the most about the game of golf. And our friend Patton Kazire is apparently very happy that he's not playing Southern Hills this week. Please fill me in on his situation heading into a very interesting week at Colonial.
Well, one of the other companies I work with, Secret Golf, Patton is one of our contributors. I've interviewed Patton a million times. I know him pretty well. He kind of came up through the ranks with my brother. And I always try to include that. I think that's the maybe unique position that I'm in, is that, I see it from the side of being a sibling and maybe knowing a little bit more about what goes on behind the scenes. And for Patton, he posted on his Instagram story after Saturday. He said he played pitiful golf, but on a pitiful setup on an overrated golf course. And I was like, okay, tell us what you think. Yeah,
shitting all over Southern Hills.
Yeah.
It was tough out there those first 2 days. It was not easy.
And the weather was hard. The weather got really cold on Saturday, and it was blustery. But I hope that he can, I know that he will get over his disdain for that sort of course, with Colonial being slightly similar. easier. He finished third here last year. We've got that. And his stats for last year were brilliant. Tee to green, he gained over 9 strokes on the field, over 6 strokes in approach. He's really good with his irons, and he's a fantastic putter. We see that all the time. The stats right now don't show too much of a similarity compared to last year, but I think that when guys go back to a course where they just had a bad week and all of a sudden they're on familiar turf, they know that they played well there last year. It suits his game in a lot of ways. And Patton's 150 to 1. So, you know, real dark horse, but I like him. I think that any frustration that he had last week is gone. And he can really get back to somewhere where he's got good memories.
Yeah, very Jared, quickly. I know you have a couple matchups you wanna ask Diane about before we let her go quickly.
I just want her to pick, because this is my favorite game. It's like Diane's best matchup bet. I give you my 3 favorite ones that I found, and you tell me of the 3 which one you like the most. I'll start with one of your fan favorites, Taylor Gooch, who had a tremendous week, got into the just snuck into the top 20 for us. -110 over Jason Kokrak, who I know you guys have a very strong relationship with. You probably have some good inside info about how he feels about this course. Tom Hoge, your buddy, Tom Hoge, +105 against Justin Rose. That's interesting as well. And then, of course, how can I not give you a Davis-Riley matchup? But here's the rub, Diane, and this is why I'm very curious your thoughts on this one. Davis-Riley -120 over our guy, poor Mito Pereira. How do you think he is going to fare this week after what happened to him on Sunday?
Okay, well, I'll start with your first one. Jason Kokrak is defending champion here, and I spoke to him last week.
So throw that one out.
He really was like, there's a lot of similarities between Southern Hills and Colonial. He made the cut at Southern Hills at the PGA, but it wasn't a great week for him. However, you know, being defending champion last year, Jordan finished runner-up, and he really had the fans totally against him. I remember talking to him right after he won, and he was like, nobody was cheering for me. But Jordan just made a few late bogeys, and Kokrak was clutch. A great par save on 18, even though he had it kind of tied up. But I am picking Taylor Gooch, and only because I just love where his game is at.
Yeah.
And last week, you know, he was the Oklahoma boy. He was the hometown favorite, and he had an all right week. So I think that Gooch, how he's been playing lately, this year is his year. So I would pick Taylor Gooch. I would 100% Tom Hoge over Justin Rose, and 100% Davis-Riley over Mito Pereira.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of scar tissue for Mito, but I think he's going to be drained. I think it was a lot. He gave everything on Sunday, and it wasn't enough and fell short of the playoff. And I think it's tough to follow that up. I really do. And you know, it was a whole new space for him to be in last week. So I'm not saying that it's going to hang around for a while. I think he's young and he's determined, and he's got a lot of great people around him, and he'll bounce back from it quickly. But I think Davis-Riley going to be pumped up.
Yeah, Diane, we so appreciate your time. Good luck with all your bets this weekend at the Charles Schwab, and we'll have you on next week to talk a little more golf for the tournament next week.
Right, guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week.
You too. Thanks. Of course, we're taking it to somewhere that's a little bit colder. Let's talk a little NHL hockey before getting into our best bets of the day. Jared, I'll let you go first. You talk about your Oilers pick. I'll tail you on it, and then we'll go to our best bets of the day. So tell me why you like the Oilers today.
You are the ice queen. So, and this is not only are you the ice queen, but I had the Oilers money line straight up in the rundown this morning, and then I log in to check your picks because I don't bet anything in hockey until I see who you're on. And you had the 3-way, and I was like, I like that better. So I changed my pick to 3-way, and now you're going to tell me why the Oilers are going to win in regulation.
Yeah, the Oilers are going to win in regulation tonight because of one guy and one guy only, and that is Connor McDavid. He has been having a phenomenal postseason. They took a 2-1 series lead against Calgary, and literally it is because of Connor McDavid. He's had 6 straight multi-point games. He leads the NHL in postseason scoring right now. He has 23 points in 10 games. And then when you're getting secondary scoring from a guy like Evander Kane, who had a hat trick last game, McDavid had 3 assists, and they're just throwing Markstrom off his game. He gave up 4 goals and 34 shots on goal. You're looking at an Oilers team that has it oiled up right now. The machine's oiled up. Here's the thing. I know. I know. Didn't you hate that?
That was
really
I
struggled.
love it so much. I hate how much I love it. I hate how much I love it.
Markstrom has really struggled against the Oilers this season. He's given up 4 more goals 6 different times. The Flames power play or penalty kill did look really good because the Oilers had 6 power plays. They weren't able to capitalize on any of them. And the Oilers, I look at them at home though. They're 21-7 at home in their last 28 games. And Calgary is only 1-5 in their last 6 road games, which is another thing that kind of backs my Oilers 3-way money line pick. I also like the under 6.5 in this spot. The under is cashed in 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two in Edmonton. Connor McDavid is playing so well. I don't think Markstrom is going to give up as many goals as he has been, but the Oilers have been so solid on defense. I know the over was a good bet to hit. They had 15 goals the other day. I bet the over the other day too, and they got 8 total goals. This seems like a good spot for me to bet the under, just because both teams are going to come out solid. And just the trends and the numbers favor the under in this spot. So I like the under 6.5. I like the Oilers because of Connor McDavid and what he's been able to do and how the Oilers have been so good at home. Yeah. We have a question in the chat from Ryan. If the Avs to win the cup at plus 150 is still worth a bet. Yeah. You're getting it at plus money. The Avs are winning the cup this year. You're never going to say no to a team winning the cup at plus money. I still like it at plus 150. The Avs are going to win the cup. Here's the thing. It's going to be the Colorado Avalanche taking on Tampa Bay Lightning, and it's going to be whatever goaltender is better. Vasilevsky is so good, but the Avs have so much firepower. So that's all I'll say about that. Yes, it is still a good bet. The other game I'm looking at, the Hurricanes taking on the Rangers. One of them is my best bet of the game, so I'll save that for a second. I also like the under. It is a little juicy. I'm laying 42 cents to do it. But Igor Shesterkin's been dialed in. And the Rangers offense is showing a little life, but not enough life for me to like the over. So I like the under 5.5. Carolina only has 19 goals in 8 playoff games. That's averaging about 2.4 goals per game, which is a full goal below their regular season average. The Rangers have scored 3 or more goals in every game this postseason, but still, you add up 2.4 plus 3. I don't think that they're going to be able to get pucks past Shesterkin. They only scored 1 goal. They only scored 1 goal last game. They put 44 shots on goal in Game 3 against Shesterkin, and he saved 44 shots on goal. He saved 43 of them. He's phenomenal. He saved that game. He struggled in the first round, but now he has a 95.6 save percentage against the Canes. They ain't getting goals past him. So the under 5.5 in this spot seems like a really good place. And the under is hitting in most of these games. I did bet the over Game 3. Didn't hit in Game 3. I bet the over in Game 2, and it did hit in Game 2. So, but the under's been hitting more often than not. I like the goaltending. Antti Ranta's been great. Shesterkin's been phenomenal this round. So the under seems like a good pick for me. I have another bet on this game, but before that, Jared, let's go to Pickswise.com, talk about our 3-star play of the day, and then I'll give out my final bet for the Rangers game.
Philip Tomich, our friend Philip, he has a total bet in the Warriors-Mavericks game. Totals are all the rage today. Mark Lammy has a totals bet in the Mets-Giants game, and it is in simpatico with my YRFI. See if you can't figure out what it is.
Love that.
Also, shout out Ricky Diamond. This dude continues to eat winners, tennis winners, like it's his job. The irony is, it is his job. So he has a pick on the French Open, which I don't. Are you into tennis at all? Big event going
I'll watch
next couple weeks.
Big tournaments, but no.
No, not into
I'm not
tennis?
like, yeah. Okay, it's about that time. Best bets of the day. Let me just get out my crown really quick.
Where did you get this crown? Did you steal that from a child at a birthday party? Like, where did you get that crown?
So it was my friend Brooke's 30th birthday the other day. The other side actually says happy birthday.
You stole it from a 30-year-old's birthday
party.
party.
Happy birthday on it. But if you turn it around, it is an ice cream
My
crown.
dog is laughing at you. My dog is laughing at you over here. He just laughed.
So it is now considered the ice cream crown. That's where we're going with that.
You are.
Hurricanes, Rangers 3-way money line at plus 150. The home team in this series has won every single game so far. The Canes have been great at home during the postseason. They're 5-0 at home, but they have struggled on the road this postseason. They're 0-4 on the road during this postseason. I think that trend is going to continue. They're going to be 0-5 after today. Igor Shesterkin has just been too good in this series, saving 43 of 44 shots on goal in Game 3. I know I said he struggled in the first round, but he has a 95.6 save percentage now against the Canes. And the Canes have only scored 19 goals in 8 playoff games, 2.4 goals per game, which is a goal below the regular season average. And the Rangers have scored 3 or more goals in every single game this postseason. There hasn't been much necessarily, in my opinion, to separate these two teams. It's kind of tough to predict who's going to win, but I'm fading Carolina. I'm fading their postseason road woes. They've combined to only average 3 goals per game this season, both teams. Only 7 goals scored with a goalie between the pipes. There's been 2 empty netters. I'm riding the wave, betting the under. Also, Igor Shesterkin been dialed in, and the Rangers offense showed a little life. Igor's 7-1 when facing 40 or more shots on goal. That is really good. They're going to even the series up at 2, heading back to Raleigh. Rangers, 3 money line. Love the price, plus 150. Lock it in. The crown stays. Jared, who do you have for your best bet of the day?
The crown stays. Let the record show. Hear ye, hear ye. The puck queen, the ice queen. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. I get locked in the stocks town square like Jester if I call you a puck queen. The ice queen has spoken. I am tailing both of your 3-ways tonight. I locked in a unit on the Rangers and the Oilers. I hope we go 2-0, but if we go 1-1, we're gonna make money. Both are plus money. So I'm officially in there. Also, listen, we had a new guest on the show today, Prop Holiday. He did an incredible job.
Yep.
That my vibe in this NBA postseason has been trust the people who got you there. And I know Prop Holiday hasn't gotten us there yet. We just met him today, but he has done a really good job already up to this postseason. We've been tailing Scow. We've been tailing JVT. I have had an unbelievable NBA postseason run, and I have done the least amount of work I've done in any NBA playoffs in years, because we have really smart people that we bring on this show that give us really good advice. Draymond Green in a closeout game, to me, is a really good look for the over 7.5 rebounds. I love the fact that he had 15 rebounds in the closeout game against Memphis, and the point can be made that the blowouts and the decreased minutes and the ejections and all the tertiary, extraneous shit that's going on for Draymond has pushed his rebound total.
That's a lot of big words in one sentence.
Tertiary and extraneous. I told you I would top your vocabulary day here, so here you go. The extraneous one is really the one that there's been a lot of extraneous extra shit that's gone on that has taken Draymond's minutes and it's decreased it, and that's why he hasn't hit his rebounds prop in the last 2 games. But he's going to go over 7.5 tonight. I got even odds over at DraftKings. I love the look, the toughness, closeout game, and again, Draymond with a chance to shut the team down and send them home. That's when he plays his best basketball. So we will trust Prop Holiday. Hopefully tonight will be a holiday for our pods, and we'll go over 7.5 with Draymond Green rebounds.
You love to see it. That is it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to Pickswise.com. Thanks for hanging with us for the extra long show we had for you today. Best of luck with your bets today. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great one. Let's get it. Let's bet it.